messengers as bringers of good tidings and warners, so that mankind will have no argument against Allah after the messengers. And ever is Allah exalted in might and wise.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah. We've been talking about the different prophets and their lives ever since the time of Adam. Now, let's continue. When Prophet Yusuf got out, they brought him to the king, and the king started telling him about this dream. He listened carefully, and then he said, "This is to tell you that there's going to be 7 years of fertile soil here in this area." And this was on the Nile River, which is in Egypt, and that's where they were. He said there's going to be 7 years of fertile soil. You're going to have so much crops, but then there'll be 7 bad years to eat it all up. That's the sign of what you saw. Oh. He said, but if it's managed properly, then if you take advantage of all of the crops that you get in the good 7 years, you'll be able to sustain yourself and do well through the bad 7 years, if you're careful. King said, where will we find such a person who could take good care of this? He has to be noble, has to be honest, somebody that's tested and found to be true. Yusuf, we know that. Look how he tested out, and he's true. So, you're it. You became now the controller of the treasury for all the land, for all of Egypt. Yusuf accepted the job and became the minister of the money. Not a bad job for a guy who was in prison yesterday. And guess what happened? Just like the dream. Because Allah gave the king the dream, didn't he? Just like the dream, what happened? They had 7 fantastic years. And Yusuf was careful. He said, take some of that and put it aside over here. Take this and put it over there. You can sell that, but keep this. And he was very careful. And all that time managing and keeping up with the numbers and watching. 7 years he took care to make sure there were plenty of reserve resources, so when the 7 bad years came, that they'd be able to stay alive and sustain themselves. Well, then the 7 bad years came. The river was more dry than ever. They had very little growing crops at all. Animals were getting skinny. Crops were in short supply and big demand. People started coming from all over because they heard about what? The stores that they had. When we say stores, by the way, we don't mean like a shopping mall. We mean storage, places where they kept stuff. And they come and they said, could we get some grain? Well, we could, but you have to give us money. Okay. And they traded gold, silver. By the way, it's a good lesson for Muslims to learn to always save a little bit, huh? Out of everything you do, save a little bit. The successful people even today know this rule. Always save a little bit. And don't waste it. Keep it, keep it, keep it. So anyway, over that period of time, during that 7 years, many people came from many lands. Far, far away. Even all the way back home to where? Where Yusuf came from. Jacob and his sons also experienced this drought where they were. And somebody told them, if you go to Egypt, if you go to Mesr, can you say Mesr?
Yes.
That's the real name of Egypt, Mesr. If you'll go there, you're going to find a place that has lots and lots and lots of goodies. Go and stock up over there. But take a caravan, take stuff with you to trade. If you got gold, if you got silver or animal skins, take stuff with you and go trade those guys over there. So they took off. And when they went on the caravan, as they went along, one of the things they wanted to do, they wanted to take Benjamin with them. Huh? Jacob said, no. You've already taken one of my sons and never brought him back. They said, no, that was a wolf. He said, never mind, I've heard your story forever. And he said, I'm still crying today for him. I'm keeping this boy with me. Now go. They went. And when they got there, the oldest of the brothers, of course, has to do the speaking. He goes in and he starts saying, oh, yes, we're from so-and-so, and we would like to meet with whoever's in charge. And so it became that Yusuf knew, oh, there's some people coming from the Holy Land, from Jerusalem, from Palestine. And it's who? The sons of who? Yaakov, Jacob, peace be upon him. Yes, Send them in, send them in. Now when they came in, they didn't recognize their own brother. They had no idea it was him. But he recognized them, and his voice went like this. As he wanted to say something to him, but he knew he can't. I have to cool it. I got to cool it. And he sat on he had a big chair, he's an important man, he's sitting up high. Yes. And because of his stature and his job, who he was, they're not allowed to just look at him and go, hey, what's up, man? They have to look down and say, without looking at him, sir, we have come a long way on a long journey, and we brought with us many goods to trade for the grains and things we need, blah, 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 blah. They're telling their story, And he's like, those are my brothers, man. Wow. But I don't want to tip my hand yet. I don't want to let them know because I want to find out. I see. We'll stay. Perhaps we'll eat. So he's going to feed them, take care of them, and let's see, what we can work out. And they get to know you, And while he's talking with him, he says, by the way, are you the only brothers? They said, no, we have another brother named Benjamin. I see. And what about this Benjamin? How is he? Is he all right? Well, yeah, he stays with our father. Our father, he's messed up, I said, why? Oh, he cries all the time. We had another brother, but, the wolf got him, and, so father's been all messed up ever since. Oh, really? So the wolf got your brother, huh? Oh, yeah. Well, we had a bloody shirt. Take it back. It's not important. No, go ahead. Tell me about it. Anyhow, so can we make a deal for this grain? We want to do some trading and get on our way. He said, all right. Yes, why not? This is a very good idea. It would be nice, if you would bring your brother the next time. Come back, and we can do some more trading. How will that be? Yeah, oh, sure, yeah, we'll bring him back. Oh, no problem, that'll be fine. That'll be great. He said, well, go get him then and bring him back. Okay. So they traded. They gave gold, they gave this, they gave that. Whatever they had. And they filled up the bags and the saddles of all of the animals, and away they went. Now what they didn't know was that Yusuf had one of his workers go put all of their money back in the bag. Give them all their money back. So when they got home, they were telling their father, hey man, there's this real cool dude, he was nice and everything, and he wants us to come back, we're going to trade again, and he wants us to take Benjamin with us. Okay? Father said, no, you're not taking him anywhere. You just leave him alone. He said, no, but we promised. We said, wallahi, we have to do it. He said, I don't care what you said. And they started opening the bags up, and they said, uh-oh. All the money's here. He gave us back all the money. Well, what does this mean? This is something serious. I guess he wants us to come back for sure. Otherwise, why would he give us all the money back? Hope he doesn't think we stole it. Wow. Why do we... So they kept promising their father, well, Lord, we'll protect him, we'll take care of him. Don't worry. Just let us take him. He said, no, I know what's going to happen. He said, trust us. He said, I did before, and I'm still crying today. He said, don't worry about it. So finally they convinced him, and they took Benjamin, and away they went. And when they got there this time, they came in, and again, your lordship, like this way, praying, and he said, okay, sit down, what do you got going on? Let's eat again, blah, blah, blah. And they're all together. And when the men left, they left Benjamin there. And they went to sleep. And then what happened? He told him, do you know who I am? He said, yes, you're an honorable man, a dignified man, a wonderful man. He said, and I'm your brother. He said, and you're my huh? I'm your brother. I'm your brother, Yusuf. Oh my God! And they started crying, and they were holding each other, and it's like, too much, man! And they're like hugging and everything and jumping up and down, And he said, but be cool, because I don't want them to know. He said, really? Yeah. He says, yeah, they're kind of weird. Yeah, so be cool. He said, okay. He said, we're going to do something to him. Okay, cool. And when the guys come back in, he said, okay, guys, well, go ahead and go and have a good life and everything. And so they loaded up their bags again and took everything, and away they went. And just as they got to the gate, it was locked. And they couldn't get out. Thief! Someone is stolen! And everything stopped. And everybody was ringing a gong, bang, bang, all this. And And they said, somebody has stolen the king's golden cup. And who do you think it might be? Whoa. Now, you know what? This is a pretty good story, isn't it? This means that people will have to come back to find out the rest of this story, won't they? Because we're going to take a break. I like it when people come back, and this is what they call a cliffhanger. It's like, oh, yeah. Okay, now, let's continue. Let us continue now and see what happened. Now, you remember in the story we were talking about what happened, that Benjamin had just discovered that Yusuf is his brother. And they were so excited, they were so happy. But then he told him, don't tell, don't let on, and see what happens. And let them take their caravan and go back with all the goods, with all the things that they bought. And they were leaving, and Benjamin with them. But when they got to the gate, somebody hollered, thief, thief, somebody has stolen, somebody has stolen. And they come running out, what's going on, what's going on? Somebody stole the golden chalice, the cup of the king. They said, well, not us. We're not thieves. We're honorable people. We're the sons of a prophet, Prophet Jacob. We wouldn't do that. I said, well, okay, no problem. But just in case you did, what is the punishment according to your scripture from your religion? Because remember, these are Egyptians. Those people, they were not Muslims. They were not followers of the religion of Jacob and Abraham and Adam. So they said, well, I guess the punishment would be that, well, the person would go to prison. Whoever steals would go to prison. They said, so be it. Then that will be the case. They opened the first saddlebag and they looked. There was nothing in it. They opened the next saddlebag of the next animal and they looked. Nothing. Next. Number 9. Oh, no problem. Number 10. No problem. Number 11 is the one for Benjamin. When they opened number 10, and they looked in, the brothers looked at each other and went, whew, we're okay. Because they know Benjamin wouldn't take anything, and they were like, okay, good to go. Open the other one, and we're ready to go. They opened it up. There it was. There was the golden cup in Benjamin's saddlebag. Oh, boy. So they grabbed him right away and took him into Aziz. They took him in, even to the king. They said, this is the thief. Now, in the meantime, the brothers are going, okay, hold on. He's not a thief. We don't know how this happened. He's not a thief. We're honorable people. Look, we were here before. We did business. You guys are so great. They said, yeah, and we gave you your money back, and look what you did to us. You just stole. No, you don't understand. Now, here's another problem. They realize when they get back home what's going to happen. Jacob is going to have a heart attack. He is going to go crackers. Isn't he? He's not going to be able to take it. But what they going to do? So one of them said, okay, take me instead. Just I'll stay here. Take the boy, let him go back, and I'll go to the prison. So we can sort the matters out. They said, not really, we can't do that. Because whoever did it is the one who has to pay. It's not fair to put you in. Who does a sin has to pay for the sin. And by the way, that's Islam too, isn't it? Whoever does the sin pays, and Allah doesn't make anybody pay for somebody else's sins. Ever. Well, the next thing that happens is they go back. They go back to their father. And right away, the father suspects what's going on. He's a prophet. He knows, And he's saying, all right, I've lost one son, and now I've lost another. And he burst into tears. And this time he wept so much, he couldn't see anymore. It was almost like a blind man. He was crying and couldn't see that. He'd take him around. He said, you have done it again. They said, but Father, it's not our fault. He said, you always have some excuse. First they come in about the wolf, and now you're telling me about stealing something, and you know I didn't steal it. It's you guys. You're too jealous. You just don't understand. He was very upset. Very upset. But they said, Father, all we got to do is just come back with us. Just go back with us. And we can talk and see what we can do. Now here's what happened. They went back again. And they're going to really plead and beg and give any kind of a money, whatever it takes. Please, this is their idea. They went all the way back again. They went back to Yusuf. They went back to the king and everybody, and they said, guys, listen, please, our father is dying. He's going crazy. He's going blind. He can't take it. We will pay any ransom. Give us back our brother. He didn't take it, but even so, we'll give you what you want. And they were begging. Now Yusuf was right there, looking at them, crying like that. Good payback, huh? Remember, these are the same guys that threw him in the well. These are the same guys who left him for dead. These are the same brothers. And now he can watch them crying. But you know what? He said, no, I don't want to see him like this. Because why? He's a prophet. He has a soft heart. You know what he did? He said, guys, look at me. And then he spoke to them in their own language. Because up to now they've been speaking in Egyptian language. They had to have translation and everything. In their own language, he said something to them and they said, huh? He said, who do you think I am? Are you not missing a brother? They went, it's you. It's you. He said, not you, Yusuf. And they all started hugging. And they were going, oh my God, it's Yusuf, it's Yusuf. And some of them said, oops, is he mad at us? No, I'm not mad at you guys. What about Benjamin? He's right here behind the throne. And he came out and they're all, happy, and everybody is just so tickled because, And he explained to him what had happened. Told him what he had done. And he reminded them, of course, they knew what they did too, right? And they apologized and they said they're not going to do these kind of things anymore. They're going to be good. Everybody's going to be happy. Now, in those days, the land began to again come up with the fruits and the grains from the earth. And Allah blessed the land with water. And the rain came and the river came up again. And things were well in the land of Egypt. So at that time, they decided to send for their father. And they went back and they brought their father this time. They brought him out. But before they did, I didn't see what happened. This part, I don't want to leave this out of the story. It's so nice. When they were coming back, they had Yusuf's shirt with them. The real shirt of Yusuf. They had it with them. Because Yusuf didn't go back to see his father. He wanted them to bring the father back to him. And when they came back with the shirt, look, the old man is blind almost from crying. And he went, it's a good day today. They said, why? He said, I smell the shirt of Yusuf. Now the wives of his sons are hearing him say that. They're going, huh? I smell Yusuf's shirt. Okay, he really lost it. Bye-bye. He's cuckoo because, he's smelling shirts now, And, he's coming. Yusuf is okay. I smell his shirt. And they're going, And then they came. The brothers, they came. And when they came, and he saw the shirt, and he felt it, and he started crying again, only this time out of happiness. And he got his sight back. He could see again. And then they took him back into Egypt with them, and they all lived there. And that's a very good thing that they lived there like that until it came time for him to die. Now, when Yaqub, was time for him to die, he wants to be buried with his, of course, forefathers. And remember that his grandfather is Abraham, because he's from Isaac, and that's from Abraham. And I want to be buried there. So that's what they did. And then when Yusuf became very old, and it was time for him to die, he left some good instructions for the people. And he said, remember, always worship Allah. The same thing his father said before he died. When I die, his father had said to the brothers, who will you worship? They said, Allah, and only Allah. The God of our father and our forefathers before him, of Jacob, of Isaac, of Abraham, and Adam. Allah only will we worship. And that's when Jacob passed and died. Yusuf too wanted to be buried with his father. So when he died, they embalmed his body and held it there in Egypt for a period of time. Then they shipped it back into the area where he was originally from in Palestine, and that's where he is buried today. When I first read this story, it's in the Bible too, by the way. I'm reading it to you from the Quran, but the story is very similar in the book of Genesis. I think it's in chapters, if I'm not wrong, it's in starting around chapter 29, 30, something like that in Genesis, and runs to about 36, something like that. It's quite a few chapters in the book of Genesis telling the story of Yusuf and his brothers and Jacob and so on. one of the things that the questions that came in my mind that I thought about was that how would it be that anybody could forgive their brothers after what they had done to him? Because for sure, if somebody dropped me in a well and went off and left me to die, and I spent all these years as a slave, as a prisoner, as an Egyptian working somewhere, I mean, you know, and they did that to me. How am I going to forgive them? How? But yet he did it. He just did it. Do you know how? Well, because Islam teaches us, no matter what other people do to you, you don't have to do that to them. And the best thing you can do is forgive. Because when you can forgive other people, then Allah, He can forgive you too. Is that right? I said at the end of the program, I want to tell you something, but you have to ask me. You remember that? Okay. Well, here's what happened. When I came to Islam, they said, you can choose any name you like. And I said, oh, I like maybe so. I said, what about Joseph? My father's name is Joseph. I always liked this name, Joseph.
Who said this?
Yeah, but wait a minute, see what happened. And they said, Yusuf had such a beautiful face. Why don't you take the name of Yusuf? And I said, maybe that'll make my face become beautiful. They said, yes, take the name of Yusuf. You'll be like Yusuf. Take the name of Yusuf. You can be like Yusuf. Take the name of Yusuf, and you can be like Yusuf. So I took the name. Did I get a beautiful face? No. But I did get to go to prison. Because I became a prison chaplain for the Muslims in the United States. I became the National Muslim Prison Chaplain. And I used to visit the prisons all over the United States and see the Muslims and go to them and tell them about Islam and share the Quran and stories just like Yusuf. And one of the favorite stories of the prisoners in the jails in the United States, they love to read the story about Yusuf. The Muslims there, they love this story because it helps them to deal with their problem and helps them to learn how to be better Muslims and helps them to deal with some of the subjects that come up and help us to be patient because he was very, very patient, wasn't he? Yes. You know, at the end of the story, there's something amazing here. If you'll notice, in the beginning of the story was that he said he saw 7 stars bow down to him. Don't forget when they came in to get the grain. When they came in the grain, yeah, didn't they all bow down?
Yes.
Yes, they did. All 7 of them.
And the father and the mother.
And the father, yep, the whole family. And there you have the sun, the moon, and of course the stars, which is his brothers. Everybody bowed down to him. And but that was a sign from Allah too. Allah gives signs to us sometimes. Even today, even we're not prophets, sometimes Allah gives dreams to people to help guide them. And I've seen people who are guided to Islam after they got a good dream from Allah too. That's the story of the real Yusuf that I'm named after today. And I'm glad that we had a chance to tell this story. I've really enjoyed sharing that with you. So, till next time, I give you guys the greeting. You give it back to me. Salaam alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Allah, ya Allah.
A prophet live 1,000 years? A prophet in a fire? Prophets that brought the dead back to life? A prophet in a whale? Find the answers to these and many other questions. Join us for Stories of the Prophets.